for college students around the country, college is their first extended stay away from home. During this time, it can be hard for students to resist the temptation and peer pressure to try drugs and alcohol. Millersville University's Alcohol and Other Drug Counseling Center is a place where students can go to get information and help if alcohol becomes a problem in their lives. John Baltzer from the center came to our studio to talk with us about what the center has to offer.
I'm here today with John Baltzer, an alcohol and other drug counselor here at Millersville University. Now, John, what are some things you would like to say to the Millersville University community about the use of drug and alcohol?
I would like to say that what we're trying to do is really get people to create a dialogue and begin to talk about it honestly. What we found is there is a real false consensus about how much people are drinking and what the issues really are. Some people grossly exaggerate it and say everybody's partying, and some people say, well, there's no problem here at all. And we're really trying to find the middle and just seek the truth. That's pretty much what we're up to.
Now, is this something students at Millersville in particular, or every student in every college across the country has the same feeling, or is this something that's unique to here?
No, I think it's pretty average. I haven't seen anything specifically unusual about Millersville when you compare it across the nation. Everything kind of washes out. In some cases you have like the Florida State, Mississippi State, Penn State, which are real big party schools, really famous for that. But if you kind of take that out of the curve, it's pretty average.
What should parents know about drugs and alcohol use?
Parents should know that their beliefs and what they tell their kids about their relationship with drugs and alcohol has a big impact on what their kids are going to do. As parents, and being a parent of college-age students at this point in time, you always get the sense that they really don't hear what they say. They do. I work with a lot of kids in at the counseling center, and they'll come in and they've had a pretty long history. This is like the second or third time that there's been a pretty serious issue for them. And those kids where the parent has said to them, listen, you really need to do something about this, and they're specific, like you need to cut back or you need to stop. Those kids are inclined to do that. The other kids that get the message from mom and dad, well, this is college, just be careful, don't get caught, is another wonderful message that a lot of folks give their kids. It makes a really big difference. And the kids, we hold on to that.
Now, tell us about the Counseling Center here at Millersville University.
Well, the Counseling Center is made up of, I think there's 5 PhD psychologists and myself who attempt to meet the needs. Actually, I think we do meet the needs of the students, the clients that come in that have issues with either problems like depression, loss of a family member, anxiety, or in my role as the alcohol and other drug counselor, AOD issues.
What is Millersville University doing to try to help students with drug or alcohol problems?
Well, the biggest thing we're doing, besides providing treatment for those kids that walk in and say, hey, I have an issue, please give me a hand, is that we're doing a whole lot of stuff with outreach and education to really try to fight this false consensus that the way everybody believes people drink. That's probably the biggest task at hand. For instance, next fall, Phil Reardon in Student Affairs has set it up so all incoming freshmen will go through the Choices program, which is an hour-and-a-half session where we work on a 16-page interactive journal. And it really just allows people to talk about where they really are with it and also get some facts. One of the things I learned when I got here was that college students come in with an absolute dearth of information about alcohol. We know how to party, we know where to get it, we know what all those things are. But what's really going on? We don't have it as a whole. Very few of the students that I talk to say, I knew all that material we just went over. And invariably, it's less than half.
Now, I'm sure one of the biggest concerns students have when they go to you is, are the Millersville University police involved in anything you do?
Well, on the front end, a lot of the students, I keep calling them kids, sorry, I'm an old guy. A lot of the students are sent there because they've been cited for the second time or cited with a BAC above .16. But as far as anything that happens after that, it's all confidential. It's just between me, them, and the wall. Matter of fact, for me to report back to Judicial Affairs that we even completed the sanction that they had to follow through with, I need their written permission. It's safe. That's the point. It's real safe.
Now, is that something Millersville University does, or is every school like that?
Well, anybody that's doing counseling, particularly drug and alcohol counseling, has to do that. There are laws and rules about confidentiality, HIPAA.
Now, what do students in the School of Education, if they're cited for drug or alcohol, how does that affect them?
Let me give you the range. It goes like this. By law, when you become a teacher, when you're hired, you give them a check for 2 checks. One is a child line, which sees whether you've been a perpetrator of sexual abuse, and the other is a police check. If you've been given a charge through the local police or anywhere in Pennsylvania, that's going to come back positive. Most high schools dismiss those applications out of hand because of the ethics clause that education operates under. Some people have gotten a lawyer, have the record expunged. Some people have had contact within the school where they want to work and had them look past that. But my wife works in Southeastern School District in York County, and they dismiss it out of hand. It's just, they don't even look at it. So it's really a pretty serious thing, and the unfortunate thing that I'm finding is students are here for over a year, and when I share that, because we have a little packet from the PLCB that talks about jobs that will be that'll give you a hard time getting hired with it. And they just don't know. It's news. And again, that's part of what we're trying to do. We don't want it to be news. We want everybody to know this stuff.
Should students know about their blood alcohol content? Could you talk about that?
We do a lot with BACs. People really are, in most cases, pretty much unaware. They have no ideas. Matter of fact, one of my favorite stories, I had a guy who actually had a real serious drinking problem. And as we were going through the material, he talked about being the designated driver. And I said, wait a minute, you just told me you drink about 30 beers a night. It's a true story. 30 beers a night, how can you be the designated driver? And he said, well, on those nights, I don't drink as much. And so I asked him how many he drank, and we sat down and used a little BAC card. And he was driving at a .22, which is nearly 3 times the legal limit in Pennsylvania. People really don't understand that. The other thing they don't understand is at a .04, .05, which is like 2 to 3 beers, somewhere in there, that's about as high as you can get on alcohol. There's a biphasic effect where initially it's a stimulant to the brain, to our breathing, to our heartbeat. There's a euphoria, that nice warm fuzzy feeling I always used to call it when I drank. And anything after that, it's more the depressive effects that begin to settle in. And again, people really don't know that either. I'm always amazed. It really, because we're really intelligent people. I mean, we're all in college here to get a degree and go on and do something. And somewhere along the line, we didn't get this alcohol 101.
Now, what should students do if they suspect they have a problem, or even if their friends suspect their friends have a problem? What should they do?
Actually, there's a lot of things you can do. One of the easiest and safest is on the Counseling Center website. There's 2 icons there. One is called eChug, and there's another one, eToke, for marijuana. And you can go on there, and it's a self-screen. It's totally confidential, and it allows you to plug in this data, and it takes like 10 minutes to do the whole thing. And then what it does is it feeds you back information. It'll feed you back like what your family risk is. Like, I come from a long line of alcoholics. That was not good. I had really high tolerance. That was also not a good thing. It breaks down your consumption into calories. Sometimes I work with students who work out all the time, and when they see you are drinking the equivalent of 34 cheeseburgers in a month's time, it's something that gets their attention. Also gives them comparisons, how they drink compared to their gender and how they drink to other Millersville students. So it's a really easy way to look at the data and say, like, wow. And most people will say, I didn't realize that. I didn't know I had that many. The other thing that you can do is you can call to the Counseling Center and ask Miss Becky to make an appointment, and I can help you do that too.
And quickly, your office is in Lyle Hall?
It's in Lyle Hall, 3rd floor.
All right, John, well, we'd like to thank you for joining us today on Ville View.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that does it for this edition of Ville View. Remember to check out AgFest on April 18th from 11 to 3 p.m. in the Quad. And as always, you can watch Ville View online at MUTV99.com. For everyone involved with the show, I'm Christy Fulkerson. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Ville View.